if you have a connection with nature, you're more likely to take action to care for nature, which we think is really important. We're also really aware of the benefits to people's physical and mental health from having contact and time in nature. There's a huge body of evidence that shows that's really important. And we've been working over the last 3 years with the NHS in South Yorkshire and multiple partners to try and increase the amount of green social prescribing happening. So that's a non-medical intervention where people get time out in nature, doing nature-based activities with other people, so there's that social connection as well as that connection with nature, and we really see, you know, significant benefits to well-being and improvements in mental health from participants that take part in those activities. So working with our partners, we were really keen to increase the amount of people that could access green prescribing and wanted to better understand some of the barriers, because not everybody can access and enjoy those activities. So we were delighted to have the opportunity to work with the University of Sheffield School of Languages and Culture to really get our heads around how people connect with nature and the myriad ways in which people from different backgrounds and very diverse people that we want to engage value nature and how they enjoy and access nature.
We were really interested in this, particularly because it's very important to be able to identify, understand and represent the diverse ways in which people connect with nature. But what's underneath people's connection with nature is very, very personal and very important to them, and can probably act as catalysts for action for them in the future. So during the project we followed people's stories, we understood from them what their perspectives were, and we came out with a range of very, very varied different kind of connections with nature which people have. In all cases, we have found that one of the very important things about connecting with nature is sharing that experience with other people. And in this project, hearing other people's stories has allowed people to sort of learn about different ways of doing things.
Conventionally, you might think that a story is something with a beginning, a middle and an end, but in this project we've taken stories to be something much broader and much wider. So it could be anything. It could be a single moment when somebody is telling you about how they're connecting with nature, and that could be really specific. That could come down to a single flower. You know, they'll bend down and while we're gardening they'll say, oh, this flower, and then that might prompt further discussion. We could be out for a walk, for example, and looking at the mountains, and that might prompt a memory or something that connects them to people in their past, something that they've experienced from back home, wherever that might be for different range of people that we've spoken to. So a story is not just something with a beginning, a middle and an end. It's something much broader than that, but it's also much more specific. You know, even the power of hearing other people's stories, when we are people with power and are making decisions about how people can connect with nature, that can be really impactful too, because it brings it down to the personal again, and it makes us, you know, be able to experience as if we were there with the person, you know, living the moment. And that's so much more powerful than a number or a statistic. You know, being able to hear a story takes us right back to that moment that it's happening. It's all of that full sensory experience and all of the emotions that come with it that will enable us to connect more meaningfully.
It's very important that when we're thinking about actions we might take, whether at local level or at local government level or national level, that we think not only about perhaps what is the most common ways in which nature connection happen, but being able to capture the broad range across the whole spectrum of our diverse communities. One of the other things we've noticed in the project is that people who are accessing green social prescribing are also becoming the volunteers in the groups which they're working in, and as they become more knowledgeable perhaps about growing certain things, they're sharing that information with other people in the group. And the power of that is so strong, because people are seeing that the person who's helping them is like me. And that's what we need, rather than necessarily people being told what to do. It's a longer process, it might be a slower process, but it's going to be much more long-lasting, and it's going to be more important because it's built from the bottom upwards.
We know that there's physical barriers to people accessing nature, you know, provision of high-quality green space, transport, those sorts of things. But there are also those social and cultural barriers. So that's where this research has been really valuable. So we're hoping to use the learning from this research both to inform our practice and to share what we found with others, both to inspire everybody to get out there and enjoy nature, and also to, like we said, get more people taking up green social prescribing.